Ready to uncover some seriously cool history. Today, we're diving into the world of 17th century Japanese kabuki theater.
And we've got some fantastic source material to work with.
Oh, yeah. We're talking original Japanese text here.
It really adds a whole other level to understanding it, getting that firsthand perspective.
Absolutely. So imagine, if you will, Kyoto, 1603. A woman named Izumo no Okuni takes the stage. Well, not a stage exactly. More like a platform.
This street performance, not some fancy court affair.
Right. And Okuni's bringing dance and drama to the people, which, now, that may not sound revolutionary, but back then...
It was revolutionary. Women performing publicly, unheard of, challenged every norm. And that's really important to get right off the bat with kabuki. The word itself practically means out of the ordinary, even a little rebellious, you could say.
And visually, too, Okuni was captivating. I mean, just picturing these bold costumes, Okuni in male attire, it must have been a sight.
Oh, absolutely, a spectacle, for sure. But it wasn't just about grabbing attention. Okuni blended this really unique style of Buddhist dance with these short, really engaging skits, and it just clicked with people.
Yeah. It wasn't stuffy theater, it was for everyone.
Precisely. And her style took off. It was like wildfire, really, how influential she was. It practically gave birth to kabuki almost as we know it.
Which is what makes it even crazier that by the 1620s, women were banned from performing. What happened?
That's when the shogunate, the government, basically stepped in. They saw women on stage and were like, nope, not good for public morality.
Too risky, huh?
You could say that. Too much potential for things to get out of hand, at least in their eyes. But it's a really good illustration of how, even from the beginning, kabuki was tied up with the politics of the time. All that freedom Okuni brought, yeah, wasn't going to last completely untouched.
Wow. So even back then, art and politics all mixed up. But the show must go on, right? What happened to kabuki after that ban?
It did go on with a twist. Young boys, wakashu, they were called, were brought in to replace the women. But,
Oh no, let me guess, that didn't go over too well either.
You'd be right. The shogunate shut that down pretty quickly. Morality concerns again. But here's where things start to shift toward what we see today. By 1653, Yaro Kabuki emerges.
Yaro Kabuki being...
adult men as the standard. And this was a turning point. With adult men in the roles, kabuki starts to get more dialogue heavy, the storylines get more intricate.
So less short dance pieces and more like acting in characters and stories.
Exactly. This is the foundation for the really stylized, complex acting we see in kabuki today. It was a huge moment, solidified its identity in a lot of ways.
Wow. From almost spontaneous expression to something much more structured and story-driven.
And like any art form that lasts, it didn't stop there. Kabuki evolved even more, different styles developed, almost like genres in movies now.
Oh, so like we have action movies, we have heartfelt dramas, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. Jidaimono, for example, those are your history plays. Lots of samurai, epic battles, political intrigue.
Now those are some fight scenes I'd want to see.
Intense. And then you have the flip side. If Jidaimono is the action movie, Sawamono is more like your drama.
Okay, what makes Sawamono a drama?
These plays focused on everyday life. Family conflicts, love stories, the challenges of just, being human, relatable stuff, still resonates with audiences centuries later.
So you've got these two styles, the epic history and the everyday dramas. And what about the actors? Who were the big names bringing these to life?
Oh, man. Kabuki had its superstars, just like we do today. And like those play styles, different regions had their own legends, In Edo, which we now know as Tokyo, you had Ichikawa Danjuro.
What was so special about him?
Think of him as like the original heartthrob of kabuki, known for this powerful stage presence, always playing these larger-than-life characters.
Wow, a true star. And what about over in Kyoto? Were there any big names over there?
Oh, Kyoto was all about subtlety, grace. And no one did that better than Sakata Tojiro. He was known for nuance, conveying so much with just like a look or a small gesture.
So we've got these different play styles and these legendary actors, all pushing the boundaries of what kabuki could be.
And it's important to remember these weren't just one-offs. These actors developed specific techniques, a kind of kabuki language of movement and expression.
Like their own special vocabulary.
Exactly. And those got passed down through generations. It's a living link to the past.
That is so cool. And speaking of the past, one thing that always gets me about kabuki is just how visually stunning it is. The costumes, the makeup, it's incredible.
Totally. It's a feast for the eyes, but there's also this incredible depth to it. It's not just about looking amazing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, like, take the makeup, for instance. It's pretty intense.
Oh, it's an art in itself. Kumadori, it's called. And the colors, the patterns, they all mean something.
Wait, really? So it's not just, like, decorative?
Not at all. It tells you about the character, their personality, emotions, even their role in the story. Think of it as like a language, but written on the face.
Wow. Okay, so break it down for me. What does a bright red face mean?
Red often means passion. A heroic figure, maybe even a hothead, Black often signals a villain. Purple, maybe someone noble, wise.
So there's, like, a whole secret code in the makeup.
Exactly. Adds a whole other level to the performance. And we haven't even talked about the music, the dance.
Oh, right. Those are such big parts of it, too.
Essential. Traditional instruments like the shamisen, the flute, they create this incredibly powerful soundscape.
It's more than just background music, then.
Much more. It can build tension, underscore a character's inner feelings, even tell parts of the story. And the dance, it can be so stylized. Specific movements, gestures, all layered with meaning.
It all ties back into that visual storytelling. Everything works together.
Absolutely. But beyond the spectacle, we have to remember, Kabuki wasn't afraid to get real, tackle big issues. It could give a voice to the voiceless, explore themes that resonated with everyday people.
It's more than just entertainment, then. What kinds of themes did it explore? Give me some examples.
Plays from that era, they were dealing with war, with poverty, love, loss, corruption. Really, you name it. Kabuki probably had a play about it.
Wow. And not shying away from the tough stuff.
Not at all. It was rooted in the reality of the time, reflecting what people were going through, which is probably why it still resonates, even today.
It's like holding a mirror up to society. That's powerful.
It is. And you know what else is powerful? Kabuki isn't just a relic of the past. It's gone global.
What? Really? Tell me everything. That is fascinating.
Yeah, so in recent decades, it's gotten a lot of international recognition. There have been performances all over the world, workshops, introducing new audiences to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I kind of thought of Kabuki as being very traditional, focused on the past,
I get that, but it's more than that. It honors tradition, but it's open to innovation. It's always changing while staying true to its roots.
That makes sense. So not stuck in Japan anymore. It's out in the world.
It is, and even being taught in schools in Japan. This amazing art form is going to be around for a long, long time.
It's amazing, isn't it? Thinking about how far Kabuki has come from, like those early days with Okuni on a makeshift stage to, well, you said it, a global stage. It's incredible. It speaks to its power,
It really does. And, to me, it shows just how, deeply rooted Kabuki is in Japanese culture. It's more than just theater. It's this reflection of history, values, anxieties, all of it.
We've seen how it challenged the norms, how it changed over time, how it's found ways to connect with people for centuries. It's a story of resilience, artistic evolution.
And it's still going. That's what's so cool about it, right? It's not a finished story. It's still being written.
So true. And as we start to bring this deep dive to a close, I got a question for you, listener. If you could go back in time, experience just one Kabuki play firsthand, what would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. So many choices.
Right. Would it be a huge Jidamono samurai epic, all those battles we talked about? Or maybe something more intimate, a Somono play that really gets into those human relationships? What time period? What kind of stories?
It's incredible the variety you find in Kabuki. It speaks to how it can connect with so many different human experiences,
Absolutely. There's something for everyone. And the best part is you don't need a time machine to experience it.
Exactly. There's so much out there. Even just in the stuff we looked at for this deep dive, you can find videos of performances, some have subtitles, and you can really dig into the history, the art of it all.
And if you're ever lucky enough to visit Japan, seeing a Kabuki performance live, it should be on everyone's list. Trust me, it's an experience you won't forget.
It's one of those things that has it all. It's visually stunning. It takes you back in time. And at its heart, it's about the power of stories. Really unforgettable.
Well said. So for now, listener, we hope this deep dive has left you, maybe a little curious, wanting to explore this world of Japanese Kabuki a bit more.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep diving deep into the stories that make the world so fascinating.
We'll be back soon with another adventure.